This presentation of the big game is made possible through the kind support of Tangipahoa Parish Tourism, your guide to the crossroads of Louisiana. North Oaks Health System, improving lives every time, every touch. Gateway Ford, Gateway gives the deal. And the Northshore Community Foundation, you can make a difference, we make it easy.
Tangipahoa Parish is home to the strawberry capital of the world and the premier destination for family fun and adventure. Whether you're looking to visit one of our historic museums, grab a bite to eat at our amazing restaurants, or attend an exciting local event, there's always something to do in Tangipahoa Parish. Tangipahoa Tourism is proud to support the Southeastern Channel in its mission to educate and inspire young media professionals right here in Tangipahoa Parish, the crossroads of Louisiana.
Drop, yo!
I think this is a great place to live, a great place to raise a family. This is just a place that we love. I think it is your responsibility to support that community that you're in. And that's something that we've always done here and something we're very proud of. Sponsoring Little League and sponsoring the high school and sponsoring the university. And I just feel like that's as much of our responsibility to be visible in the community and show that we're here and we're a part of what's going on with our neighbors and our customers.
Hello everyone and welcome back to The Big Game. I'm Schexnayder alongside Jules, Dormain, and today we'll be taking a look at Southeastern's football recent trip to Beaumont and when the reigning national champion LSU came into town.
We'll also take a look at the Lady Lions basketball as their season is now underway.
But first, a look at the Lions men basketball team's first few games. Last year, the Lions season ended in the first round of the Southland Tournament against the University of Incarnate Word. This year, they opened the season in Oxford, Mississippi against the Ole Miss Rebels. For more on the beginning of their pursuit of the Southland crown, I've got the story. Lions men basketball is back in action after their dominant win over Mississippi College in their preseason game. However, the start of the season is not going the way the Lions expected, facing three big schools in the season opening, going against Ole Miss, UL Lafayette, and Georgia Tech, coming up short in all three games. In the Lions season opener, junior Jaden Lawrence led the scoring with 15 points, alongside Mekhi Miles with 10 points. Fifth-year transfer Isaiah Gaines led the Lions on the boards with 5 rebounds, while Peter Heschmeyer dished out 3 assists. In the matchup against UL Lafayette, the Lions got off to a bad first half, being outscored 20-34, but picked up the steam in the second half, giving us a close final score of 52-58. In their most recent affair, the Lions traveled to Georgia Tech and played a gritty first half, leading 31-29 going into the second half. The Yellow Jackets bounced back in the second half with a scoring surge and decisive rebounding, giving them a win of 70-60. The Lions have one more tough opponent this Saturday, facing the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and the Lions hope to catch their first win of the season before heading back to Hammond for their first home game. Reporting from the big game, I'm Adam Schexnayder.
Southeastern's Lady Lions basketball has had an interesting offseason. They enter this season with a brand new coach and almost an entirely new roster. For the story on how Jeff Dow has handled his first few games as a Lion, here's big game reporter Jaleel Hutton.
The Lady Lions basketball team have started off their new season with new faces in the lineup and a new coaching staff on the sideline. New head coach from the University of Incarnate Word, Jeff Dow, started his first game against Centenary College. The top scorer for the Lady Lions was junior forward Taylor Ross with a total of 16 points. Redshirt junior Aaliyah Collins scored 14 points and went 4 for 5 in field goals and 2 for 2 in three-pointers. The Lady Lions ended up beating Centenary College with a score of 105-49, putting them at 1-0. Now moving on down to Baton Rouge, where the Lady Lions played their second game against the LSU Tigers. Even though the Lions had a difficult loss, they still managed to fight the whole game. The leading scorer for the Lions was Mary Dangerfield with a total of 8 points. With the Lady Lions losing the game 115-26, they start their season off with a record of 1-1 and will now take on the University of Arkansas. Reporting for the big game, I'm Jaleel Hutton.
Southeastern football has been on a tear, undefeated at home this season, and an 8-game win streak in the FCS dating back to their win in the Riverbell Classic a year ago. Last week, they faced Cardinals of Lamar in a game with major postseason implications. Big game reporter Lucas Hill has more on the Lions' latest trip to Beaumont.
A top 20 battle in Boomtown, Texas proved to live up to the hype as the Southeastern Lions try to get one step closer to their second Southland title in 4 years. Southeastern came into the game with one of the best offenses in the FCS, but it was a defensive slugfest from the first offensive drive of the game as Lamar would shut down a potential scoring opportunity on 4th and 1. But the Lions defense would bite back, shutting down Lamar's offense throughout the majority of the first half, forcing turnovers and taking out starting quarterback Aiden McCowan. From there, it was Robert Coleman's turn, and he answered to get the scoring going on a 12-play, 80-yard drive that resulted in a 7-0 halftime lead for the Cardinals. Southeastern would find its rhythm back on offense, but would only result in 2 field goals despite a forced fumble that gave SLU excellent field position. The run game would be the Cardinals' bread and butter on a 15-play, 73-yard drive that would take 7 minutes off the clock and result in a major Bowden touchdown. Cards up 14-6 just when SLU looks to be on the outside of a potential comeback. Coach Frank Selfo reaching into his bag of tricks with a fake field goal by Jack Hunter. 2-point conversion is no good, so it's up to the Lions defense to get a stop. 1:15 left in the game. 3rd and 2. Oh no! Fumble recovered by Khalid Moore and giving new life for the Lions with a chance to get into field goal range. But 4th and 3, pass from Carson Camp is overthrown, and the Lamar Cardinals survive and get back into the Southland Conference race with a chance to clinch next week versus Stephen F. Austin. Lions need to win out and root on the Lumberjacks for a share of the title and a potential berth in the FCS playoffs. For the big game, I'm Lucas Hill.
We're going to take a break here, but when we come back, we got some Southland soccer and cross-country finales, alongside some Tangi area football and some LHSAA action. Don't go anywhere. The big game will be right back.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you
Welcome back to the big game. Recently, the Southland soccer season wrapped up in Beaumont, Texas, and the field of 8 had to be whittled down to only 2 by Sunday, November 9th. For more on the new Southland soccer champion, I've got the story. Soccer across the country is nearing its end, and it's no different for Southeastern in the Southland Conference. The tournament took place at Beaumont, Texas, with Lamar boasting home field advantage. It would be against the Cardinals that our Lady Lions would fall in the tournament, after going down 2 goals halfway through the second period. Laney Connell would give Southeastern a chance to stay in the game, but ultimately, Lamar would move on to the semis. Houston Christian would come into the tournament with some momentum, winning their last 2 regular season games. The Huskies would play East Texas A&M, winning in blowout fashion 4-0 in the first round. Then after getting past Northwestern State, Houston Christian found themselves with a battle against the Lady Lumberjacks in the conference finals. Both teams played well, forcing overtime until the junior forward, Olivia Rossman, would score the game-winning goal for HCU. The Huskies move on to play LSU November 14th in the NCAA tournament. Reporting for the big game, I'm Jules Dormain.
Northshore's high school volleyball team kicked off the Division I volleyball tournament. Ranked 5th in the division, to start off, they had a first-round matchup against 28-seeded John Ehret, whom they swept 3-0. For more on their second-round matchup against Mandeville, here's Big Game reporter Allie Quirk.
The Northshore High Lady Panther volleyball team came out strong in their regional match against the Mandeville High Skippers by dominating the first 2 sets in front of their home crowd. The Panthers' 5th seed ranking in Division I has been fueled by great veteran leadership. Captain Emily Martin says she knows what this team is capable of and shared their mindset going into the final rounds for the season.
It gives us a lot of confidence, I think, because Mandeville is a good team. They're not an easy beat, but we have things to learn from this, and we need to finish stronger, and we can't play around with teams that can potentially beat us.
Northshore failed to finish drives and dropped the next 2 sets of the game and were forced to go into a 5th set with Mandeville. Head coach Danny Davis says that strong mindsets come from being in tough positions like this.
I think our schedule throughout the year allowed us to play under control in a 5th set to overcome their intensity and their energy to win the match today.
The Lady Skippers played with a lot of fire and intensity to push the Panthers out of the bracket. But the Lady Panthers came out on top with a 3-2 victory to advance to the semifinals and have a shot to win it all at state. The Lady Panthers dominated the first 2 sets in front of a full house. The Lady Skippers wouldn't let them go down easy, pushing the Panthers to a 5th set showdown in the Battle of the Shores. Northshore would then return to form in the 5th set, dominating Mandeville to punch their ticket to state in Lafayette. Reporting for the big game, I'm Allie Quirk.
The Southland Conference Cross Country Championship started off on Halloween weekend in Natchitoches, Louisiana. In the women's race, Texas A&M Corpus Christi's Elizabeth Cadavy defended her individual title, winning the women's race with a time of 19 minutes 44 seconds. Although the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks pulled through overall, edging out the Islanders by 3 points to win the overall title. On the other side of the aisle, Stephen F. Austin dominated the men's race, winning the individual title and the overall title for the 2nd year in a row. Nathan Capel of the Lumberjacks came in first with a time of 22:48.8, and the Jacks washed 2nd place, Corpus Christi, by 13 points.
Tangipahoa football action took place in Strawberry Stadium this past weekend as the Ponchatoula Green Wave took on the Hammond High Tornadoes in the final matchup before the playoffs began. Big Game reporter Miles Edwards has more on this season-ending rivalry.
In one of, if not the best rivalry game in all of Tangipahoa Parish, Ponchatoula and Hammond put on an absolute show this past Friday. Hammond took the early jump, scoring 20 straight first-quarter points, before Ponchatoula would score 2 late touchdowns in the first half, including a defensive lineman pick 6 to cut the Hammond lead 20-19. In the 4th quarter, after Ponchatoula takes the lead up 28-21 with all the momentum, gets the ball back and fumbles the football recovered by the Tornadoes, and Hammond would then tie the game soon after. Hammond would then get the ball back and score the game-winning touchdown, winning this one 35-28. This is everything you ever wanted from a football game. Explosive plays on offense, opportunistic plays on defense, and it ended with a game-winning touchdown. Ponchatoula now finishes 2-8 on the regular season, while Hammond finishes 7-3 as they await their playoff appearance. For the big game, I'm Miles Edwards.
Time for a break, but when we come back, we're going to wrap this show up with a look at the Pelicans and the Saints, as well as the LHSAA's trip to the Capitol building. Then we'll wrap it up with some pick and roll. Don't go anywhere. The big game will be right back.
This presentation of the big game is made possible through the kind support of Tangipahoa Parish Tourism, your guide to the crossroads of Louisiana. North Oaks Health System, improving lives every time, every touch. Gateway Ford, Gateway gives the deal. And the Northshore Community Foundation, you can make a difference, we make it easy.
Tangipahoa Parish is home to the strawberry capital of the world and the premier destination for family fun and adventure. Whether you're looking to visit one of our historic museums, grab a bite to eat at our amazing restaurants, or attend an exciting local event, there's always something to do in Tangipahoa Parish. Tangipahoa Tourism is proud to support the Southeastern Channel in its mission to educate and inspire young media professionals right here in Tangipahoa Parish, the crossroads of Louisiana.
Drop, yo!
I think this is a great place to live, a great place to raise a family. This is just a place that we love. I think it is your responsibility to support that community that you're in. And that's something that we've always done here and something we're very proud of. Sponsoring Little League and sponsoring the high school and sponsoring the university. And I just feel like that's as much of our responsibility to be visible in the community and show that we're here and we're a part of what's going on with our neighbors and our customers.
The New Orleans Saints have had a rocky start to this year, as many predicted. But despite the rough stretch, there has been bright spots. For more on last month for the Saints, here's Big Game reporter Will Sinsley.
The New Orleans Saints have been through a real roller coaster the past 3 weeks. It started in Week 8 when the Saints struggled big time at home, falling 23-3 against Tampa Bay. The offense never found its rhythm, and the turnovers just kept coming, leading to Spencer Rattler getting benched. Then came Week 9, out west against Los Angeles Rams, and that one got ugly fast. The Rams completely controlled the game. Matthew Stafford looked sharp, the receivers had their way, and the Saints just couldn't match the energy. A 34-10 loss left New Orleans looking flat and frustrated. But it was Tyler Shuck's first game as a starter. So last week in Carolina, things finally started to turn around. Rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck settled in, throwing for over 280 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the defense stepped up big, holding the Panthers to just 7 points. The Saints walked away with a 17-7 win, breaking the losing streak, and maybe, just maybe, finding some momentum heading into a bye week. Then, a key match against their division rival, the Atlanta Falcons. From the big game, I'm Will Sinsley.
The Pelicans have had an equally tough start to their season, with questions around head coach Willie Green and yet another Zion injury. Their latest matchup against the Portland Trail Blazers in a weekday matchup in the Smoothie King Center. Big Game reporter Sophia Daniels was on the site for the game.
The New Orleans Pelicans walked into the Smoothie King Center with a 2-8 record this week to face the Portland Trailblazers, led by familiar face in Drew Holiday. Portland was in control most of the game, led with a 30-point performances by Shaedon Sharpe and Denny Afdia, leading nearly the entire second half to walk to a 125-117 win. New Orleans was led by a stand-up performance from rookie Derek Queen with 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. This was the 9th loss of the season for New Orleans, and the blender is swirling. The Pelicans, playing without Zion, went head-to-head with the Trailblazers in a tough game from start to finish. With questions surrounding Coach Willie Green's future, the team needed to show some fight, and they did. Trey Murphy came out strong, Derek Queen flashed real potential, and the Pelicans played with the kind of heart fans love to see. The job's not done though. Their spot in the West is still up in the air, and they'll need that same energy when they face the Lakers next. Reporting for the big game, I'm Sophia Daniels.
The LHSAA was summoned to Baton Rouge in the capital for the ongoing study into legal disputes and the address the shaky guidelines. For more on the story, here's Big Game reporter Kendrick Allen.
I'm sort of appalled today, to be quite honest with you, that we are here to do the work of the state, which is our job to do as legislators. Yet it seems as if I don't know how to respond to it. I'll stop there.
Appalled. Appalled was the word from Senator Rick Edmonds, an overall sentiment of many in the room, as the November 12th installment of the legislative study of the LHSAA went forward with not a single member of the LHSAA staff making their way to the Capitol to answer questions due to attending state volleyball tournaments 57 minutes away in Lafayette. With the lack of representation, this left lawyers and principals to speak on behalf of the LHSAA, and the overall tension of the situation boiled over when Senator Alan Seabaugh questioned the high school game today in Louisiana compared to its rich past.
And the whole organization, and I understand, and look, I'm going to get off on a tangent for a second, but speaking just of football, as a former high school football referee and a high school football coach, the quality of the product on the field in this state is atrocious compared to what it was 20 years ago. And I do believe that this organization is responsible for that. It's atrocious what's happening on the football field. It's embarrassing. And I believe the people in this room are responsible. And I believe your organization is responsible. And I'd like to fix it. And we're not going to stop until something happens and it gets fixed. And y'all may not like the way that we go about it, but we are not going to just go away. Okay?
Understood.
Thank you.
As the study went on, the questions of the LHSAA's morals when it comes to letting students transfer or sharing public records at their own discretion was again put under a spotlight. As many gave testimony, including hopeful athletes and school admins themselves, the lack of any staff in attendance further put both lawmakers and schools in a bind, as the threat of the LHSAA either being disbanded or becoming a part of the Department of Education seems to get closer and closer as the February deadline for legislation to be introduced looms overhead. From here, the legislators will convene for their next and final meeting with the LHSAA in December for what they hope will garner a comfortable resolution for both. From the state capitol and for the big game, I'm Kendrick Allen.
Now it's time for some pick and roll. So Jules, basketball season just started up. We got our own Southeastern playing 3 tough opponents to start out the season. We got Ole Miss as the opener. Bad first half, and Ole Miss just took over completely, winning around 88-58, I believe, was the final score for that. Then we head over to UL Lafayette. Another very bad first half. We took us like 3 minutes to score even our first point there, which it was a very winnable game because you see by the final score 58-56, you know, Southeastern could have had that one. And then we go to Georgia Tech, the third tough opponent. You see much better signs with the Georgia Tech. You lead at halftime with like a 10-point lead. You know, they really seemed to bear down after UL loss and just played great basketball. What do you see in this new Southeastern squad here?
Yeah, I think Southeastern, I mean, they've had a little bit of a tough schedule. Obviously, you're going to Oxford, and then you're going to the Cajun Dome down at UL. I mean, it's two very like hostile environments, and then you play well against Georgia Tech, you kind of bounce back a little bit. But I mean, it's the same problems that we've seen from Southeastern basketball the past few years. We either get started really slow and then we decide we want to play in the second half or the last 5 minutes of the game, or we play good all for the first half of the game and then you start to slack off in the second half. Those things, Coach Kiefer just got to get his guys together. And if he's going to get those things together, there's two guys that on the team that I want to mention. C.J. Booker didn't really get that much of an opportunity last year. He's only a redshirt sophomore. He's from UTRGV. He was just there was a lot of guards mixing in for playtime last year. I think he's going to be really important for the Lions this season. And then the transfers from Chicago State, Jalen Forrest, he led Chicago State in scoring with around 16 points a game. He's coming off the bench for the Lions this season, and I think he'll be a great spark plug. But moving on from basketball now to, I know you are a manager for the baseball team, so let's talk a little bit about Southeastern baseball. LSU came to town. What did you see?
Yeah, man, the reigning national champions. You know, what I saw with this baseball team here is Coach Bobby, you know, really getting even more arms in the portal and these freshmen that are coming in. We struck out LSU 27 times. This is the reigning national champions we're talking about here. That is huge to see for Southeastern here. It just shows to me that Coach Bob is an excellent recruiter at this level, and he's getting SEC players. Blaze Priester, former LSU catcher, also Alex Perry of Tennessee, who was part of the 24 national championships with Tennessee. So looking at this recruitment from Coach Barbier, you know, it's something that it's incredible to see.
Yeah, you mentioned Blaze Priester. I worked in the Texas Collegiate League over the summer, and he was co-player of the year in the Texas Collegiate League. So I think he brought in a great guy. He's going to play catcher for us, I assume, and he's a real good bat to add to our lineup.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of the bats, you know, they were kind of quiet for this, but I mean, this is LSU we're talking about. They have some different arms going in this game. Struck us out 29 times. We struck them out 27. So, you know, the defense was great for both sides. It's a great thing to see. You know, the second game we played felt like, you know, a regular season game. You know, the fans really weren't there for the second game. They were there for the first game. But, you know, the tightness we played with, and it got, like, chippy towards the end, that's what both coaches, I feel like, would like to see, and fans, you know.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah. But that'll do it for us for this episode of The Big Game. For more information on Lions Athletics, visit www.lionsports.net. And for more of us here at The Big Game, visit thesoutheasternchannel.com. So for more Jules, Dormain, and our entire Big Game crew, I'm Adam Schexnayder. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.